Happy Monday, guys. Great morning, super fantastic morning. I am Shay Wilson, thinking big, living bigger, and loving the biggest. Good morning, guys. Jump on. Let's get this thing going. It is always a good day. Let me make sure I got you all so I can see it on this side. Make sure I can get the comments. Let's get it. Good morning, guys. Today we're going to talk about what the things that we do that keep us numb, and it's titled "Getting Rid of the Numbing Cream." And so it's going to be we're going to dive a little deep today because we're going to talk about the things that keep us stuck and the places in our areas that are stuck, or the places in our areas that are dead or defined. And I'm looking in this book, Claim Your Power by Master and Kip, are the areas where we feel the most frustration, the most resistance. There's no movement, meaning that you are dead in those areas. That could be in relationships, that could be in health and wellness, that could be in your finances, that could be all those things, those areas where you feel absolutely stuck. And what we do most of the time are the areas where we don't want to feel, we don't want to do anything, and the inaction, the fear of acting is what's really causing us to be dead. And we do a number of things to cover up the fact that we feel powerless, we feel frustration, we feel stagnation, and just overall fear in those particular areas. So there's ways that we do and deal with those things. And so we're gonna move with that. But the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about what we appreciate. You know, we like to throw out some things. What are you appreciating in your life right now? I just hit mine up. There's a number that I appreciate, hanging out with some amazing people on yesterday. I appreciate just a good book. I appreciate music. Man, you realize how much music just soothes your soul, or a good book. I appreciate. I was going to toss something out at the dumpster, and ran into this young man who was rummaging through the trash, and I asked him, did he need something, and he was looking for obviously he was a homeless guy, but he was looking for treasures. It was very interesting to talk to him because he found an iPhone. He found some people had throwing out some tennis shoes, and you could just see his excitement. I asked him, was he hungry? Went and got him something to eat or what have you. But his just excitement over those little things really touched my heart, because we are so abundant and we kind of take for granted things. But yeah, it was just a interesting to see that from him. He had a little dog with him, so it was interesting. But anyway, guys, I'm excited for this day because it's a new day and full of possibilities. So let's talk about the things we do that in the title I said it's getting rid of the numbing cream, and what the things that we do that keep us from feeling, the things we do that make us run from, we don't want to feel. We're really good at suppressing things, and so we want to try to give over these things and try to get some movement in the areas. I always say get the blood flowing in the areas that need to, because in order to be all that we're meant to be, all that we've been created to be, all that God wants us to be, all that the universe wants us to be, we must deal with some areas that have been so painful that we just cannot. And some of this, most definitely, if you got a therapist, a psychologist, anything like that, I encourage you to take that step. Many of us are afraid to do that alone. To do that, find one. Let's get going. Let's get that talking. Let's get to feeling things that are holding us back. Let's get to addressing those things that we're absolutely afraid of, so that we can move forward. This is the game. You are a game changer. Anything that's keeping you playing small, we need to talk about it. We need to start putting life into that. We need to start addressing those things. So one of the things that I realize that what we do as far as trying to numb ourselves, and therefore we stay stuck, is that we overcommit to things. Now, I know it's a lot of you. We think being busy is the best thing ever. I think being productive is the best thing ever, and making sure that we get rest and making sure that we can say no. There's so many things under this thing where we are busy to be busy, and yet we're unhappy. yet we're stuck in areas that we're so busy in. That's the thing. We overcommit, and that keeps us numb. We numb situations because we're over helping. We're doing things just to not deal with ourselves. Maybe that's what it is. We're doing things not to deal with ourselves. And when we talk about people that are trying to be spiritually fit, we must address those areas. Being spiritually fit is going to cause you to be courageous, and you're going to increase your faith. You hear me? You cannot be spiritually fit and you are dodging, hiding from things that you must address, because your faith will give you the courage. Your love for the God of your understanding will give you the courage to address situations that are unhealthy for you or remove you from it. And one of the things we do to keep ourselves from dealing with our stuff is that we overcommit. We get busy on busy stuff. We will not sit. That's why I have a lot of people have a hard time doing meditation, so that you can hear yourself, so that you can be with yourself, so you can learn how to be alone with yourself, because our mind thinks, and all of a sudden we're dealing things that we have been suppressing, because time does not heal wounds. If you don't hear nothing else out of this, time does not heal our wounds. Our intentional attention to it, to release it, heals the wound. Period. We can, you talking to a king of suppressing feelings, and yet soon as you get in a situation that brings that up, the emotional charge is back, which means that it's not healed. You know you are healed from a situation when that thing comes up. There's no emotion attached to it. It was just something that happened in your past. All right. So spiritually fit people, it will cause you, when you're desiring to be the best you can be, and we're talking from the inside out, then you will have to address things. You will have to see why you keep saying yes to things, and you can't get rest, you can't work out, you can't eat correctly, but you're doing all these things for everybody else. And here is the rub. You get frustrated and irritated and disappointed because they can't do it. They cannot reciprocate. And I think I did one last time, that we keep looking for our reward in the same place that we did our good. And a lot of times we're doing good because we want that back. And therefore, but we must do that thing for ourselves, that love thing for ourselves. And that is the hard part, because we've been taught to be givers, 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 and that's the way to go. But we must give to ourselves. We're giving from empty cups. We are absolutely giving from empty cups, and we need to work on that. So we talk about getting rid of the numbing cream, because some of these things we must feel in order to heal them. We must feel in order to heal. We must deal with some of these things in order to heal. And I'm not saying that you have to do this alone. I'm saying that maybe you need to, I encourage you to find a professional, if you have to guide you through, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a therapist, a counselor, a life coach, an alignment coach, someone that can guide you through dealing with feelings that you really need to do, so that you can move forward in life. Some of the ways that we get, let me give you some ways so we'll know, because people say, I don't numb, I feel my stuff. We overcommit. That's one. Being busy to be busy. That can be church activities. Listen, just because you have board, you on the board, you're usher, you secretary at the church, does not mean you're spiritually fit. I don't care if you're the minister or the pastor. Listen to me. If we hiding, ducking and dodging, not spending time with ourselves, not healing ourselves, not resting, not filling ourselves up, we have gone over this way. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can do all kind of good and still be unhealthy. All types of good. The best people I know, the caretakers, the best of the best, are out of shape mentally, physically, and spiritually, because they keep giving and giving and giving, and not allowing, let me say this, the universe, who's 20% bigger, to handle certain things. It's a courage thing. It's a faith thing. We think we have to do it all, and we're out of alignment when we do that. we think that it's our responsibility to take on other people, what they're doing, thinking that, and it is not. And so we do things out of that vein. And I say out of that vein, the majority of that is because we haven't sat and asked the universe, God, creator, anything. We just do it. And then we feel some type of way, as we would say, after this. So what we're trying to do as spiritually fit people is try to move the needle back to where we are healthy, where we feel fulfilled is our ultimate thing. Our biggest thing is to feel joy and freedom and fulfillment here. And as we move in our gifts and our passions here, come on, let's get this thing. So one, we help others from an empty, unhealthy cup. Working too much. Some of us are working too much. Hey, man, what's going on? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Jump on. Working a lot helps us to numb things. And people say, well, I have to work to do this. You do. But there is a place that there's no way that we're just here to work, pay bills, and then die. There's no way. That cannot be our purpose. That I refuse to believe that that's all we're here for, and not have some type of fulfillment or joy in walking in our purpose and giving of ourselves from that place. There's no way. Come on. Let's get rid of the numbing cream. Some of that stuff, it sounds really good. Sounds great. Matter of fact, when you say I'm helping so I'm doing this, but you are worn out, tired, unhappy, it shows physically and it shows mentally and it shows spiritually. You don't have anything to give, but we continue because that's what we're used to. And it keeps us from dealing with our own stuff. Now you got to know why you're doing what you're doing, because it will keep us from doing. It may stroke our ego. It keeps us from moving forward. One of the other things: alcohol, sex, drugs, TV, anything that takes you from dealing with stuff on a long-term basis in the areas where you feel stuck, there's no movement and frustration. Then we need to address those things, and it's going to be okay. I need you to be gentle with yourself. I need you to be loving to yourself. I need you. And if you don't know how to do that, because some of us are hard on ourselves, then how do you treat other people? That patience that we have, the kindness that we have. And I dare say that could be a little surfacey, because if we can't treat ourselves that way, then we can't put ourselves in the equation. And some of that is just, we do that because we think that's the right thing to do. And in actuality, we're super hard on ourselves. All right. So listen once. As you're listening to this, maybe you have a breakthrough, and I want you to understand a breakthrough. You got an aha moment. Wow, that's awesome. That's right. Once you having a breakthrough is the first part of this thing. There's work to do after the breakthrough. You hear what I'm saying? A breakthrough is just the beginning. I have plenty of breakthroughs, but then there's work to be done after that. The renewing of our minds is huge. To renew your mind is huge. You're going to be ready for this Monday. I'm going to tell you, you're going to be ready for this Monday. Where do you need to surrender something at? And you may say, Shay, I don't know how to do that. And here is the rub. We start talking about, where do we need to surrender something? Where? The areas of your life where you are the most dead, are the areas of your life where I've said this over and over again. I read this in a book that I'm reading. And I love that. The areas in your life where you feel the most stuck, the most powerless, the most frustration, the most dead, basically, are the areas in our lives where we have the least amount of courage and faith. It does not mean you don't have courage and faith. It means to have the least amount. We keep trying to hold on to it. We keep trying to do it. We don't know how else to move past it. And so we get frustrated. And we stay there. The inaction, guys, is what causes us to stay stuck. The inaction of doing something. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. We're so afraid to move that we don't move, and what we desire can't happen because we're not doing anything. Listen, that's like that with money. It's like that with relationships. People want love, but they're afraid of love. So we won't move out there. So we won't get it. People want more money, but we're afraid to go get it. If I leave this job, I can't get what. There we go. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Self-fulfilling. It's absolutely insane, but we do it all the time. And again, I just want to I want to create thought. I want to create growth. I want to create you asking yourself the questions. You asking yourself the questions. So number one, this is what I want you to do. I want you to write down the areas where you're struggling with. Number one, write down the areas where you are struggling. It could be in finance. It could be in relationships. It could be in health and wellness. It could be your spirituality, your relationship with yourself. Write it down. All right. Number two, I want you to ask yourself, can I surrender this? Can you surrender your romantic situation? This is something that I love. These questions that's coming from Master and Kip's book. Can you surrender that area of your life? Can you surrender it? Can you surrender your finances? Those are we talk about the areas that you're stuck in. Can you surrender control of loved ones? Oh, some of us, boy, we can't do in our purpose because we are too busy trying to control in another area. What's up, Vincent? What's going on, Star Muffin? What's going on? Good morning, love. Good morning, Star Muffin. Listen, can you surrender these things so that you can get a better idea of how to move through it? Because some of us have been stuck in the area for a long time, so it is going to require us to reprogram our thought process to get a different outcome. Can you surrender? Look, that surrendering about the family members is huge. Let me just say that. So I have to do that almost every day. Surrender. Listen, I cannot control other people. I cannot make them do what I want them to do. They must walk their own walk. I must believe in a God, in a universe, and a creator bigger than myself so they can walk this thing. I have to believe in their resilience and their strength. Period. I have to know that. I have to speak it, and I have to speak life. If I'm always looking at them as well, they're going to mess up or they're going to do this, they should do it this way, then I'm not speaking life nor thinking life about them. You hear me? Nor thinking. So I must start thinking. And listen, the same creator is that I have, the same one for them. Must speaking blessings, must speaking out the goodness in them. I must do that. That is my work. My work is not to go in and just run in and save everything. It's not. I used to think that. I used to think that how I moved, I got to do it. I got to take on the whole thing and I have to do it. Now it's more like speak life. Everything is always going to work out just like it works out for me. It's going to work out for them. And what I can help with, I will do. But when it takes me off and I'm not in alignment to do that, then I have to stop and wait. That's one. Can I surrender my new business ideas? Can I surrender that over and just start gaining different ideas and believing and speaking life into those things? That's number two. Number three, every day for the next 7 days, can you sit quietly for 15 minutes in the morning to allow yourself to get new things? You hear me? To allow yourself. Now, some of you guys do meditation already, but it's just sitting quietly to allow yourself to center, to allow yourself some peace. I dare to say some peace. Some of us we get up and it's like our thoughts are already on the past. We worried already. We get up and it's like, hold on. It is a practice. Spiritually fit people and desiring that. It is a practice. It'll be a constant practice because we're constantly evolving. We're constantly growing. Things that come back around. Now we are changing and we're handling it differently. We're loving on ourselves differently. Just taking that time is amazing. Just waking up to say what you appreciate about yourself, about those around you, about the world around you, about the things that we have. Just doing that is huge for many of us. Then we can actually see that we're not doing so bad. We can actually see that we're actually absolutely amazing. We've come through a lot of things. And yet we still have some wounds and things to heal so that we can become all that we want, that we desire. And number three, I love this one because I love the fact that just to look at what we want to happen. Many times as adults, we have stopped dreaming. We stopped believing. We've stopped using our imagination. We get to a certain point and we just stop. And so I encourage you to say, what do I really want to happen in this situation? What does the ideal situation look like in my finances or my, and I know you'll start saying, well, this is the reality of it is. No, I want you to sit for real and dream for a minute. That's where the 15 minutes is to stop us from thinking from our place of consciousness. and allow our inner being, our Holy Spirit, for lack of a better word, to speak to us. Some of us, we good at the prayer part. We just be throwing out words, but we're not good at the listening and the taking action part. We just don't. We, in this spiritually fit world, what I'm talking about, we're stronger, more faith-filled. And I don't mean physically stronger. I mean stronger from inside out. And we are kinder because we're not scared to hold. We're not hoarding our love because we become who we're designed to be. And we are fearless. We move through things we desire. We dream like childlike. It is childlike nature again. Some of us need to grasp that again, that we can do this. We can believe that all things are possible. We can believe this and it can happen. But because we think that nothing happened, because of our past experiences of how we thought back then, we do not believe that. Hey, Shell, what's going on, gorgeous? What's going on? All right, listen, that's my time, guys. We're going to talk about getting rid of the numbing cream. Look back at this. Let me know if this helped in any form of fashion. I could talk about this forever and ever and ever, of how we numb ourselves from life and don't truly live. We are functioning, but not living. You hear me I'm saying? We are functioning, but not living. And so, listen, I'm talking to me, talking to you, talking to me. Guys, happy Monday. Have a great Monday. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's set the tone for the day. Let's go into our workspaces, our love spaces, our life spaces, and be the influence, be the atmosphere that we would desire to be. But first, we must take care of ourselves. All right, guys, have an amazing day.